Hello, how are you doing? I wanted to do an EMDR update. As you can see, I'm in my car. This is where I often process and reflect on things as while I'm driving. But I pulled over so I am safe and responsible instead of doing a video while I'm driving. Anyways, I kind of want to talk about, like, a lot of people were telling me that they were interested in starting EMDR, which I think is really cool. What I kind of wanted to bring to people's attention when considering this is, I guess, having some tools. And first and foremost, I think it's important that you are in a safe environment, that you are supported. And what I mean by that especially is that I don't think that it's ideal to be doing this kind of therapy with, while being in a toxic relationship, for instance. I think it's extremely important that you are, if you are in a relationship, that it's healthy and you feel supported and safe. And if you're not, I'm not saying you have to be in a relationship, but just having, a support system of some kind, some friends that that you've connected with and you trust and feel like you can talk to, having them aware of what you're about to do, and letting them know that you might need them to be available for you when you're going through this. There will be times that you might need just some support and somebody to talk to and to process through some of it. So yeah, that's probably the most, for me, I think that's one of the most important things, is just making sure that you're supported outside of, going to sessions with your therapist or whatever. I think it's also important to have some sort of, like, practice, like mind-body practice, I guess. I started to do I follow something called Daily Om. You can find it like on Facebook. And I like a lot of the inspiring stories they share and different programs. And I found this one that kind of came up at a time I was really needing to be more connected to my body. And it was called 21 Day Total Goddess Workout. And it's like yoga combined with food intake, really things that are really, really healing and really touch on how to self-love. And when you've been through trauma, you kind of go into self-loathing and destruction, at least I do, and sabotage. And so for me, like, it's been so important to be, like, on a routine of some kind, but if I break the routine in any way, then I sabotage completely. So that's with working out, that's with food, that's with so many things. So this has really helped me, because the way it was introduced, she made it feel very like, this is not about perfection. You'll have days where you don't want to, or screw up or whatever, and that let a lot of pressure off, and I felt like, oh, okay, this is what I need right now. I need to not feel like it has to be all or nothing. And combining that with the EMDR therapy has been really, really awesome. I've just felt a lot more grounded and present. So yeah, I just find something, it doesn't have to be that, but that's just something I recommend that's been really, really helpful to me. The other thing I would tell you, and this is kind of, at least with my therapist, we kind of came up with a plan. Like, so, when things get really, really intense and really, really heavy, I know I'm not speaking only from my own experience, or I know people have talked to me about this, where you feel, sometimes you have suicidal thoughts, and it's so, so, so important to have some sort of plan set to where you are taking care of yourself. Like, the second, like, maybe a thought, you start to have this state of, like, doom or whatever, you have something you go to, like, you say you go on a walk, or it's kind of really up to you what you do. For me, I think it was like a way to kind of get out of the house, like, yeah, going on a walk with my dog, or writing. You know, music for me is so powerful. That's really what I often do, leaning into my music, writing or working, the process that way. I really like to do that, and really being open. This is not something that you can kind of be halfway or lukewarm about. If you are really serious about this, it's so important to be open and honest. Like, I've been truthful about all of my thoughts about, you know, oh, I'm in a really bad place right now. I've just been extremely truthful, which is also a big sign to me that I am trying to take care of myself, and I'm very serious about this, and I'm really ready for this therapy, and it's been huge. And I think I'm kind of moving along through the process relatively quickly because I am been so open to it, and so willing to allow it to work for me. So even when it's been intense, because I have such a strong support system with my wife, Meryl, I feel like I can just kind of soar through this, you know. I recently went over a really big hump of something I thought was going to take me months to work through, and with part of the therapy, and really it hasn't. I'm really surprised to see that I'm yet again, another memory is kind of coming to a place of healing, and, you know, being able to let go. So yeah, I think for the most part those are the few set of tools I can give you. I know I talked about the last session I had been through that I was bringing my guitar to kind of communicate. Sometimes I know for myself, because it was, you know, when I was a child, you're not really able to communicate these things in trauma as a child. It's not, you can't. It doesn't make sense to. You're not developed in that way. So I really encourage you to find something that can speak, that maybe doesn't have to be verbal, like whether it's art, music, or even playing a song that resonates with you, or you know, even just maybe writing words, like maybe nothing makes actual sense to you, but just doing it. If you have a good therapist, they'll be able to really kind of crack the code, I guess. At least mine really has, and I think that's really important, to find what your thing is, you know. So that's been really helpful. So these are just some tools that, you know, that have really worked for me, and I really wanted to share with you if you're really considering doing this. But yeah, I would love to chat more. If you have any questions or about this, please comment below, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks so much. Good luck.